The Devourer Demon Hunter isn't about spamming buttons, it's about building power, transforming, and seeing how many collapsing stars you can drop before it ends. And once that loop clicks, the spec feels really good. Hey everyone, Mook here. Today I'm going to talk about the Devourer Demon Hunter, the new spec coming in midnight, and more specifically the abilities that made the spec feel fun, different, and intentional. This isn't a full guide or a min-max breakdown. It's a casual overview of the spec, the resources it uses, and the abilities that really sold me on how the Devourer plays. Before jumping into the abilities, it helps to understand how Devourer actually works, because everything in the kit is built around its resources. Like other Demon Hunter specs, Devourer uses Fury, but also introduces a second resource called Soul Fragments. Many of your abilities generate these Soul Fragments, which appear as orbs on the ground. You collect them by moving over them, and once you gather 35 Soul Fragments, you unlock Devourer's version of Metamorphosis. So the core loop of the spec is generating fragments, moving to collect them, and building towards transformation. The biggest thing that sold me on Devourer is how Void Metamorphosis, Consume, and Collapsing Star all work together as one system. Consume is one of your main ways of generating soul fragments. When you use it, fragments spawn around you, and you collect them by moving through the fight rather than standing still. Once you collect 35 fragments, you enter Void Metamorphosis. And this is where the spec really comes alive. When you're in Metamorphosis, your goal becomes very clear. Generate and collect as many soul fragments as possible so you can cast as many collapsing stars as you can before the form ends. Consume doesn't stop mattering, it becomes more important. You're constantly devouring, repositioning, and pushing the loop forward. Each collapsing star feels like a payoff for playing the spec correctly. You build it, you earn it, and you drop it. Another ability that really sold me on the Devourer playstyle is Void Ray. This is your big channel. You spend 100 Fury and just unleash this sustained beam of Void energy straight into your target. It ticks fast, it feels heavy, and it burns Fury every fraction of a second. So there's this constant tension of how long can I hold this before I'm empty. It lasts up to 3 seconds, but you can feel every moment of it, especially during Void Metamorphosis when your damage is already ramped up. It's not just flashy, it fits perfectly into the Devourer fantasy of standing your ground, committing to the void, and just melting something while your resources drain in real time. Another ability that really stood out to me is Shift. Instead of the usual Demon Hunter dash, Devourer gets the teleport style movement ability, and you can use it twice in a row. You can shift forward, backwards, or sideways, which gives you much more control over positioning. It still keeps that Demon Hunter mobility fantasy, but it feels more deliberate. And since movement matters so much for collecting soul fragments, Shift fits perfectly into the spec. Void Blade is another ability that really sold me on the spec. It's a charging aerial attack that lets you aggressively close the gap. When you press it, you're committing, and you're driving straight in. That commitment fits Devourer perfectly. The spec already feels like a hybrid between melee and caster, and Void Blade leans into that aggressive identity. The last thing I want to highlight is Devourer's control tools. You have Void Nova, which stuns enemies around you, and you have Sigil of Misery, which causes enemies in an area to cower in fear. What I like about these is that they don't feel like panic buttons, they feel like setup tools. You lock enemies down, safely collect fragments, and build towards Metamorphosis without losing momentum. Overall, Devourer feels like a really strong addition to the Demon Hunter class. The resource system, transformation, and ability flow all work together in a way that feels intentional and satisfying. These abilities were the ones that sold me on the spec and really showed what Devourer is all about. If you're curious about Midnight and want to get the feel of how the new Demon Hunter spec plays, this is definitely one to keep an eye on. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.